Flexibility is a body disposition that allows being easily. The sport word is dedication to analyze the joint mobility and the muscle elasticity.
Today we will talk about the subject a general factor of flexibility. We start our presentation. My group is conformed with Jenny Villarreal, Jenny Ruiz, Melissa Monroy, Diego Osorio, and Hall Springs and Hocho. There are many factors to consider when studying this quality.
Biomechanical factors. In this group, the joint and muscle structures that participate in movement should be analyzed. The articular structures are those that determine to a large extent the degree and the mobility and stability. That is why it is interesting to know their psychological faculty and movement. That is their mobility and stability capacity, as capsules, ligament, cartilage, lubricating substance, joint surface, among others. The muscular structures, it will be necessary to analyze fundamentally the elasticity and extensibility of the involvement muscles. Knowing that the muscles is made of a different uses, it will be necessary to make into account not only the muscle fibers, but also the tendons in order to determine the degree of flexibility of the wallet sac. Neurological factors. A whole series of receptors are analyzed in this group, as well as the reflex responses that they organize in order to project the structure where they are the immersed condition or facilitating the manifestation of flexibility are nerve receptor and stability reflex. Nerve receptor for muscular fibers and stress or pull reflex. Nerve receptors of the muscle tendons and the antitraction reflex. Informed or muscle contraction and reciprocal inhibition reflex. Nerve receptor for pain joint.
A. Articular nerve receptors and stability reflex. They produce reflex acts that induce the muscles involved in the action to contract or relax in the order to stabilize the joint and adapt to the required movement.
B continuo. B. Nerve receptor for muscular fiber and stress of foot reflex. And it mentions it do info about the other of the simple and activity muscle at wide spread of start stretching. Add a question of the informant repeats the kinetic of the story reflex, which the following second. 1. Muscular stretching. 2. Activity of the speaking structure. 3. Remission of information through the afferent sensory nerve. 4. Arrival of the information to the corresponding nervous center and the triggering of the reflex responses. 5. Transfer of the response by afferent motor nerve. 6. Arrival of the response to the muscular fiber and consequent contract of the muscle in the two spectrum protect the muscular structure agonizing, stretching fat or excessively. C. Nerve receptor of the muscle tendon and the attractor reflex. They are received nerve located in the arc of the muscle tendon, while the mission of the muscle about the forehead of the interior stretching of the tendon with the forward sequence. 1. Intent of the tendon. 2. Activity of the Golgi organs. 3. Sending information through the afferent sensory nerve. 5. 4. Arrival in the information to corresponding nervous center. 5. Reading the reflex responsive of the transferring response through afferent motor nerve. 6. Arrival of command to the muscle consequent relation of the muscle involuntary to perfect the tender stretching agony tried excessive because its action and contrary to that the mutic reflex it is carried receiver muted reflex endeavor.
D. Informer of muscle contraction and reciprocal inhibition reflex. There is cross information between the protagonist and antagonist.
Continue. E. Nerve reserve for the pain, joint, and the muscle. They nurture support and are found through to the body. When they an aggression state do it instead can demor a structure. Then painful may in order to provoke a response to stop the activity of process in some way. Normal and involuntary contrast of muscular protagonists of the action to get away from the focus of pain. Important is where often occur is earthly flexibility. Thanks.
Genetic factors. There is no doubt that genetic engineers predispose to flexibility, but being a specific quality and very depending on the training that is very odd. It can happen that an athlete manage to be very flexible in an area of the body and not at the same level in another area. Circumstantial factors. Internal temperature and muscle viscosity. The emotional state, inactivity, illness, fatigue, duration, force, or pathologic postures, and improper training, and the excess of mobility.
My group, made up of Natalia Sanchez, Ingrid Lorena Rincon, Alejandra Cuñariza, Gina Ariza, and Jessit Mendoza, will speak in this section about the classification of flexibility.
Classification of flexibility. For training purpose, we study this quality as follows. By the areas of limbs or joints involved, flexibility training is classified as general or global. This flexibility refers to the flexibility of the lower joint system, and the special, specific, or partial flexibility is according to a number of joints considered. This classification is accentuated on important joints in a certain sport technique.
Due to the required amplitude in the gestures, the word is classified as absolute when the requested in the body areas in question the maximum possible flexibility.
Restrict when only the necessary flexibility is required for having a gesture proof and margin of safety.
Due the characteristic of the action is the training divided into static or slow hold. Static stretching is the most common and simple stretching method, incrementing the flexibility in the muscle. Is the movement and elongation in this occur very slowly and basis of exposition and the make.
Dynamic work when the speed of the action are moderate or fast. The elongation of the musculature is allowed by the contraction of the antagonist musculature. At the contraction movement of the joint through the range of motion allowed in a slow controlled manner. The activation of the antagonist musculature to the stretch causes the elongation of the agonist musculature through the reciprocal inhibition.
The evolution of flexibility with age. To 5 to 12 years is the best stage to sensitize the last.
10 and 12 years, there is a minimum of deterioration, but without a go trading, it can be better. 14 and 18 years, there is a notified deterioration because of the ingress of muscle mass altered between strain and flexibility in training.
18 to 30 years, flexibility is maintained. It can increase specifically. More 30 years, the flexibility normally decreases. This depends on the athlete and his training. At this age, the elastic protecting is lost in the muscle mass and joint limitation and upper.
Good afternoon. We corresponded to the flexibility training system. My group is made for Dina Rodriguez, Karen Cañadas, Juliana Garcia, Andrea Mogollón, and who talking to you, Kelly Aranzales. Flexibility training system is the set of the systematic physical activities and made it an improvement for maintaining physical agility, joint mobility, as well as muscle extensibility and the elasticity.
Active 4. The athletes reach the required position in the exercise within the physiological arc of the joint by means of the uncontrolled and voluntary muscular action without using external aids. This topic of work is also known as slow dynamic.
Passive form, where the performer reaches somewhat more extreme positions with the help of parent of device. The athlete lets himself be done, control and always slow form. In this way of working, given is limited dynamics and called it static.
Kinetic forms. Here the limit positions are reached dynamically with the help of partner or element. All exercises are include the concept of dynamic. The one who does it does leave himself be done. Also called valid exercise, for example, when you stretch your bones into a position to achieve it.
Next form. These were the procedure in which combination of the forms described above are carried out the previous slide.
Good afternoon. We are Camila Arevalo, Carolina Hernández, Luisa Castellanos, Camilo Rojas, and Andrea Alvarez. And we are going to talk about methods of flexibility training. Training methods. The procedures for training flexibility are very diverse. To define 10, we have included 10 in the three classes. 1. Special methods. 2. Traditional methods. 3. Modern methods. Special methods. Tensors are exclusive to rehab, medicine, and physical therapy. They are usually past methods to teach groups below the manipulation and the traction.
About the traditional methods, these groups all flexibility exercises which can be active, passive, and kinetic, all these used in the gymnastic training. The classic exercises of these methods are bending, twisting, circumduction, stretching, swings, and small bounces. Usually the emphasis is on joint mobility and stability. In the modern methods, we make emphasis on muscle extensibility. They are universally known by the name of stretching and group a wide repertoire of exercises for muscle elongation with the common aspect of using active or passive workways, with incidence of neurological factors. Due to their lack of dynamism, it should be considered as complementary to traditional methods workways, with the advantages of expanding the mobility range, prevent injuries, and facilitate recovery when the effort finishes.
The most popular methods will be described right away. A. Simple stretching. B. Stretching force. C. Assisted stretching. A. Simple stretching. This procedure consists of actively adopting certain postures, flows that allow you to slow it and selective stretch specific muscle groups. Each exercise is carried out into pairs. In the first column, the easy stretch, the second part or envelope stretch.
B. Stretching force. It differs from the previous method because it uses the muscle inhibition produced by the reflex response of the Golgi tendon organs GTO. The procedure is carried out there three phases. The first one in the tension, immediately when the relaxation phase is entered, and the last phase in the extension phase. Is assisted stretching is originated in physiotherapy, where it was called the neuromuscular facilitation proprioceptive.
There are other non-specific methods for flexibility in training in sport, which improve this quality. Among them, we highlight yoga, tai chi, or Pilates. Flexibility in training, if done correctly, has remarkable advantage. Improves general and specific physical fitness, expands mechanical capabilities, enable technical development, increase intermuscular coordination, relaxation, facilitates muscle recovery, And this was the bibliographic used.